what we are going to be talking about today is, what the metaverse is, basically, the 7 layers of the metaverse, enabling technologies, and we're going to be giving you some solutions that you can implement, or we believe that you can implement, based on, my personal experience in marketplaces. I worked several years developing marketplaces. We had one international website, Viva Street. Some of you may know it. We end up selling one of the properties to eBay, and then we also developed Easy Roommate, and we had some other crazy ideas that we implemented. One was exactly like Airbnb, but we failed. But we did it before Airbnb. And so let's go to the next one. And Lily is going to tell you about the metaverse itself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lily Chin. I'm very excited to be here, so thank you all for listening. While I do not possess the same knowledge and expertise of specific marketplaces, I do bring expertise into the consumer behavior of the next generation. This is a generation that expects a seamless, hyper-personalized, and anticipatory experience. So I'm sure you've heard the metaverse as a buzzword or the NFT fad that went on. But the way that we like to characterize it is as just bringing the physical into the virtual. So it's merging these experiences to meet your customer where they are. And we like to think about it through 7 different layers that we'll go into in just a moment. This is an opportunity for you to expand your offerings and also to be closer to your customer. So as I said before, Web3 is just the next iteration of the internet. And the metaverse is how we like to describe how we will experience it. This is through enabling social connection, virtual immersion, and mixed reality through digital experiences. I saw some questions earlier about Next Life, but when we're talking about this, we're thinking of bringing the digital experiences, like how we experience something through the phone or through a computer interface.
So the metaverse, everybody's saying that there's a huge opportunity. In this article from Forbes, they say $1 trillion opportunity. And what is that opportunity? They are talking basically about investing in crypto, investing in NFTs, in land in the metaverse, and so on. But we are going to give you another point of view, our point of view on how marketplaces can get into the metaverse. And we believe that you can be making money with some small disruptions using Web 3.0. So the 7 layers of metaverse. To make it clear for you guys, we're going to give you a brief about what they are. So experience. Experience is what we actually engage with. They can be games, social experiences, live music, etc. Many things that you can experience the metaverse through.
Discovery is how people learn of these new experiences, and this is really generated by users, as we heard before. This user-generated content is enabling communities to take these soft recommendations rather than hard SEO campaigns or anything like that. This is the kind of content that the metaverse brings and flourishes with.
Yeah, and then the creator economy is allowing people to monetize through the metaverse, or bringing one of the things that I like to address, and this is something we've been talking in the classifieds industry for several years. It's what if we create, instead of a portal, a platform when people can come and create things for the consumers. So that's basically the creator economy.
Spatial computing refers to the different hardware that brings objects into the 3D. I'm not talking about Oculus necessarily, but we're talking about how on Snapchat you can put a little filter on it and you can see a little man dancing on your desk. It's being able to apply furniture in different parts of the room from different websites that you've seen in order to see if it matches with your style.
And then decentralization is the easiest way to put it, is bringing some processes or the power of some administrative processes to a more functional and open way to do things. Think about, when we think about marketplaces and some specific ones, real estate, car, and vehicles, what if we create, and in the UK they are already doing it, it's the conveyance into blockchain. Instead of having the deeds in a traditional way, written, they are already exploring that in the UK. So what if we bring that into the blockchain and we move away from the traditional way of doing things? That's going to be opening a tremendous amount of things for marketplaces.
So basically what we're doing here today is we're speaking to you guys about marketplaces and how you can utilize the metaverse, or how we see it, in your companies. What this really is about is getting closer to your consumer, and so that you can know the personalized experience that they want to see. We know and we understand this next generation of users that will be driving the market in 10 years, if they aren't even right now.
So enabling technologies in the metaverse. We'll go through them. And now the first thing that we want to talk about, before jumping into the metaverse, do the three-prong test. Is it viable? Is it feasible? And is it desirable? Is it desirable by the market? Is it viable in terms of economics? And if it's feasible. Today, feasible is almost everything, with technology, people developing things. So yes, feasible it is going to be. But do the other two. Do people want it? Do they need it for your portals, your websites? And the technologies through the metaverse layers, we talk about them. Spatial computing, AR, VR. Not all of them are going to be useful for you guys. Holographic digital twins, I don't think right now you can implement that. Decentralization is something we believe you should be exploring. Creator economy, we're going to give you some examples of that, of things that maybe you can start exploring and doing. Through experience, maybe bringing some of the power of IoT to them. Human interface, yes, hyper-personalization is going to be one of the outcomes. Discovery, you can leverage a lot of data that creator economy can make, or through experience you can make and improve SEO. And as we said before, some of the disruptive advertising campaigns, we all love SEO, so that can be leveraged big time. And through infrastructure, I don't think any of you are going to be investing in infrastructure.
What we invite you guys to think about is how you can utilize these different layers of the metaverse in order to enable your company to be closer to your consumer.
So some concrete cases. For real estate technologies, we had the disruption of call tracking. We have Mark somewhere, and IO Box as well. That was a disruption. And Zillow, some other real estate portals are continuously talking about how every single real estate agent should be using a chatbot. Why? Because a chatbot will simplify the life of a real estate agent when that real estate agent is showing a property. But now those chatbots, they include artificial intelligence. And that actually can create a new revenue stream for you guys. It's like that chatbot can be taught to be talking with different systems and even ask the person if that person has the loan approved. And if the person doesn't have the loan approved, you can refer that potential client to a bank, or a loan officer or whatever. So that's already enabling more business from you guys, for you guys.
And I think Simon said it great before, we're just solving problems. We don't know exactly which problems we're solving, but we're just solving problems. And wouldn't it be a lot easier if you knew which problems you were solving? These are tactical solutions that you can apply to your company now that exists. The technology exists. It's not some crazy out-of-the-box solution that's going to take 6 to 7 years. These are things that exist in the market today that you can make the little changes to make your company stand out and survive in the future. Yeah. So through VR and AR, I'm sure you guys are familiar with that, just being able to really be in the property and not just be looking at photos, but be immersed and to look around and to be able to really imagine yourself. This is what the customer wants. Think about what differentiates different sites that you're using and which ones that you have more brand loyalty towards. It's the ones that make the experience enjoyable and easier for you.
An example of VR and AR, it's not VR and AR right now, but I'm sure you're familiar with Whatnot. Whatnot recently launched. They are disrupting the marketplaces. They have continuously people showing live, what they are selling, and they skyrocket in terms of growth. Right now, according to SimilarWeb, they are at 6 million visits per month, and out of nowhere, 3 months. How disrupting! Creating something that others didn't have today. And if you go again to Zillow's, what Zillow is recommending, you can do something on Instagram, you can do something on TikTok and to showcase your listings. So what if you guys create that continuous visit of the properties, open houses, so everybody can see them, and give that option to the real estate agents. Then decentralization, we talk about that briefly. It's, there's another big tool, great tool from Loop. What if we bring all that information from the entire process of buying a house and we start exploring about, with e-signatures and putting everything available for people. And then blockchain.
And then just being able to have that transparency that we were talking about earlier before, and the promise of security and tamper-proof records. This is important across all industries. It's an industry-agnostic utility, but it's really good to think about it in these kinds of use cases. And I think a lot of this is speaking back to the creator economy, one of the layers of the metaverse we were speaking about earlier, that this user-generated content is the stuff that's really sticking with audiences, and especially the next generations to come.
In the case of cars, what we thought is, what if you start, thinking about decentralization from the beginning, but through experience, by enabling owners to have a platform where they can keep records of their cars. So today, people are writing, they talk about their cars, their experiences with their cars, so they can start writing, and we remove the traditional editorial content created by our own, and we let people write and talk about their own cars. So we are actually decentralizing. So people, instead of giving all the ownership of that data to the car dealers, to the oil companies, etc., we decentralize that, and we create that available for everybody. And through discovery, all that content can be found by people, because one of the things that you can do is actually create, with artificial intelligence, very good content pages that will rank on SEO. And then regarding decentralization in shops technologies, one of the things, I don't know if everybody remembers, a couple of years ago, Scott Thompson lied in his resume. He was the CEO of Yahoo. And what if we start decentralizing? Another proposal for you guys. What if we start decentralizing all the employment history? Try to connect with the universities so people cannot lie about their resumes, and get all that information in a platform. And then, the discovery of that, job boards can actually be disrupted with that information. And then the recruiters will have better platform to find new talent.
The searchability aspect is improved very much so by this process. And I think that starting to search for skill sets and more niche subjects is really the direction that we're going to see this going.
And when we were talking about creating new partnerships and new revenue streams for you. So, through experience, again, chatbots. If a chatbot identifies through artificial intelligence the need of something, these are just some of the examples of what you can enable, right? It's partnerships with banks. Most of you already are exploring fintech in some of the portals, but this can expand and can give real data about the journey of that customer and what are they needing at the time. Human interface, you want to start?
It's all about providing your customer with what they need in their customer journey. You're doing what you do very well, and you need to do it even better, and delegate all the other things that they need in that process in order to stay on your platform. Through human interface, through AR and VR, like I mentioned before, it can be used in real estate technology to superimpose different furniture items or allow creators to bid on different designs in your different properties. It could be used, it's industry agnostic in that way. It can just be used to help visualize and show the consumer exactly what they want, depending on their style and personalization.
Yeah, imagine, you have spatial computing. If your clients are using Matterport, you have a spatial computing, a 3D image of that room, so you can partner with Wayfair and let them bid on how that room will be furnished, or with a designer or an architect, and allow them to work with that spatial computing that you're storing on your website, or decentralized. And then through decentralization, all that information that we were talking about creating for the vehicles and the vehicle owners, you can actually partner with some of the oil companies, just some of the examples. And the same with discovery. You can actually gather so much information through AI and improve SEO and improve ranks that you can actually partner with maybe some of the car dealers and get that information about what car are the users owning, and then eventually, with the lifetime of the user, maybe they will buy a new car, a brand new car, and so on.
It's talks like Cecilia's, like that we heard yesterday, that really show us the power of AI and machine learning and how much it can help your business to optimize and stand out from the competition.
Yeah. And this is one example that we wanted to give you, through the different layers. If we basically talk a little bit about it. So on one side, you have experience, spatial computing, human interface, and you're actually enable, through decentralization, the creator economy. So what we were saying before, 3D mapping of a room, and that 3D mapping of a room can be experienced with VR, XR, AR, whatever R you want, and then you allow someone else to create experiences for your consumers. And you become a platform and not a portal. So you have an enhanced value proposition for your consumers. And we're going to show you a couple of things that we're already doing today.
So this is something we developed for a client that wanted to give retail investors the opportunity to invest in commercial properties through tokenization. So we're not going to get too into it, but we wanted to show some cool examples of the way this technology is being applied realistically right now.
And we're also working on a music marketplace in which we're tokenizing songs, and people can buy those songs. And again, it's creator economy. Anyone can create their song or be a songwriter, upload it, and people, instead of buying in a traditional way, they can actually buy fractions, or if that song becomes extremely popular, they can make money out of that song. So
and that's all we got. Yeah. We hope this has been thought-provoking for you guys, and just want to leave you guys with this. Is your business ready for a consumer like me? Someone that not only wants this seamless, personalized, and integrated experience, but expects it. This is the norm, and these are the drivers of the next generation. So that's all we got. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Bruce, can we bring up the... Thank you very much. How does the metaverse differ from just the natural evolution of marketplaces? Better experience, smarter search, and so on.
Again, think about the 7 layers and what you can implement. It's a natural evolution. Yes, it's using Web 3.0 to enhance the experiences. That's what we believe in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see a potential convergence of all different metaverse platforms and hardwares to become a single connected space?
Maybe that's something that Mark Zuckerberg is pushing for. We need to see what's going to happen. Yes.
So the answer is we don't know, right?
We don't know exactly.
But as we commented before, it's we're all trying to solve whatever problems in front of us.
Yes.
While the grand solution is really yet to present itself.
It's going to be about the experience. The one that offers the best experience, I think, is going to be the one that sticks in, right?
Okay.
Right. We're not talking about a metaverse like Decentraland or Sandbox. We're talking about the metaverse. So like the all-encompassing everything all around us, the way that we put in earphones and we tune out the world. That could be argued that that's the metaverse. We're not interacting with the physical world. We're solely like in our virtual head, just thinking there. So I invite you guys to start thinking about those things, like filters on Instagram, or how most of our lives live on the internet. Where do you post about your niece's first steps on Facebook, or where you're having all your meetings nowadays? So it's things like that that we like to think about and incorporate into how we can really bring the entire customer journey together onto one channel, which is online.
But I think at the core of what you're talking about is that there are different generations.
Yes.
that you have to deal with. And if you're running a property portal, for argument's sake, and you're dealing with at the retirement home end of the spectrum, how you present that information and how you communicate will be very different to someone you're targeting for student accommodation, and the experience and how they will consume your site. And I think we tend to look at these things as vanilla, and the reality is it's a whole bunch of different flavors in there, and we need to tailor each experience. And the problem is that over time, our capacity to go deeper becomes greater because of the technology and how we consume it, and everything from the Oculus Rift type goggles and so on. So that it creates more complexity in rolling out solutions and how you want to target each of these segments, which means that you end up with marketplaces that become quite specialized in one area. Yes. Student accommodation, which would be a very different experience to seniors living as the two ends of the spectrum.
Especially if you need a different kind of hardware to connect to each one.
Yes, and how people use it, and so on. So anyway, what's the average age of a metaverse user today?
18 to 34. That's the range today, okay. the majority. So yeah, think about it. They are already buying houses. Some of them, not everybody. And with this economy right now, maybe not of them are buying houses, but they are ready to buy houses, and they buy cars for sure.
Okay. And do you, no, we talked about the top one.
Yeah.
The Metaverse is experiencing a lot of different types of hardware, Oculus, HoloSense, and so on. Which hardwares should we be designing for?
As we referred before, start lean, use the screen of the computer. Do the three-prong test: desirability, viability, and then feasibility. Feasibility is ready. So viability, is it going to make money? Start with the screen. You can start very lean.
We're not talking about the metaverse as in Ready Player One. We're talking about the metaverse as the all-encompassing virtual digital experience.
Yes. The number of times I've heard Ready Player One referenced, it's amazing how that's sort of working its way into the vocabulary, especially amongst that sort of 18 through 30-year-old group. Last question, isn't it kind of spooky and potentially discriminating to have a CV on the blockchain?
No, I don't think so. There are companies already exploring some of it. There are universities already exploring adding the, in the metaverse, not in the metaverse, in blockchain, your grades. So no, it's what's going to come. It's about transparency. So it's not.
Yeah.
And most of us, we have a LinkedIn profile. So that's already public. The thing is that it will not be altered. It's giving transparency.
Yes.
Unless you're hiding something.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's
Exactly.
public, but is it accurate? That's the problem,
Exactly.
right? Right.
Yes.
And the reality
but
is,
if you can trace everything, it's not going to be like Scott Thompson lying about
Yeah.
his resume and getting a position as the CEO of Yahoo, and then creating a huge scandal and dropping the value of the shares.
Yes.
It's going to be transparency.
yeah, understand. So thank you very much.
Thank you very
Interesting
much.
stuff. It does raise a lot of questions that we all need to actually start to think about how we answer
Yes.
in this never-ending journey that is marketplaces. So thank you very much for
Thank
taking
you
the
very
time
much,
today.
Thank
Simon.
you.